Right then, we have got the red nylon here. I'm going to get this out and then we're going to measure it up, see where we are with it. But this is going to form our sunshade. And yeah, we're going to have to join it in the middle. But that's just going to give me the opportunity to sort of learn some new seams. So we're going to try, I think, a felled seam today. You know, it will give us a good indication of, you know, how strong that seam will be when we come to make a tent. So good stuff there. So let's get this sort of folded out and then we'll work out, see if we can get the required fabric out of it. I hope we've got enough. This is the width, so it should be 2 meters, this width. Let's just measure that. Oh no, it's not, it's 1.5 meters. And then we've got, let's have a look. Well, 1.6 to there. So this looks like hopefully 2 meters. Let's have a little look. No, actually, no, it's not 2 meters, is it? Yeah, just under 2 meters. I think it's a bit creased, so let's have a look. Yeah, just under 2 meters. So there's one piece, all cut. There we go. And now we're going to measure along, well, actually we're not even going to measure along there. We're just going to cut this piece along here because this is just not going to be wide enough here. Last edge. This is a little bit annoying because this is sold as, you know, 2 meters wide, and we're not going to be getting that actual width now because of there's quite a lot of rough edge here, so we'll make do. So these are the right way round, like this. So let's just get that like that, and then what we're going to do is we're going to join these together. You can see we're slightly wider one side, but we'll just have to maybe do a slightly bigger seam here, or we'll just have to trim it a little bit. So the way you do felt seam is you get your undersides of the fabric together like this. So this is the shiny side and the shiny side is underneath. And then what we're going to now do is just sew along here. Bring the camera closer. We're going to sew along here, leaving a decent seam. So we can leave 1/2 inch, I think would be a good seam, maybe a little bit less. But the first thing we've got to do is kind of get these all matched up. There we go. So I'm just pulling it nice and tight, just to make sure. We don't get any creases in the fabric. And to be honest with you, I might pop a couple more, one in there. Yeah, that's probably okay. So now we're going to go over to the sewing machine and sew all the way along there with a running stitch. There we go. So that's, you may just be able to see the line sewn along there. So now you get this sort of joined piece of fabric, but you've got these two sort of seams on the inside. Now what we're going to do is we're going to create what's called the felled stitch, and what we do is this. So what we now do with the felled stitch is we're going to cut one side of this a little bit shorter. So this is going to be about 5/8 of an inch, just over 1/2 inch. This side's going to be 1/4 inch. So this side will then fold over that side and round like that. And then what we're going to do is then sew along that edge as that one is trapped in. And then what we'll have is 2 seams that will stop this from pulling apart. The other alternative is called a double lapped edge, which I should have done. It's easier. And that would basically mean you now, well, we can't do it now because we've sewn these the wrong way round, but you would actually just fold this over into an S pattern, much like that. And you would sew twice. So it is a bit easier, but I should have just overlapped these in a different way. So, you know, so felled seam it is. So we're just using pins for this now because we can't get the clamps in here effectively. So you could use basting tape, but again, I think it's just going to be a little bit better using the pins. There we go. And we're just going to do this slowly but surely all the way along. So the seam is a little bit higgledy-piggledy in places. Here we've got a little bit of a challenge here, but I think we're going to be good enough for me. You can see there it is all ready to go. And now what we've got to do is sew. Let's see if we can get you closer. Is sew along as close to this little edge as we possibly can. So we get like a thread there and a thread there, and then that would be this seam done. I do find this fabric okay. It's a bit slippy slidey, and I do have a walking foot for this sewing machine, but at the moment I haven't actually found any need for it. Right, we're coming to these little tricky bits now. Just want to make sure we don't sew the fabric underneath at all. Well, I did exactly what I was hoping not to, and I kind of got this caught underneath and I sort of sewed it in to the seam. So I've had to just unstitch that, and then all I did, fortunately most of this stitch was still in place, and I just stitched over the existing seam. So you'll see here it's a little bit messy in places, but it's fine, it's strong, it'll be fine, and you won't notice it anyway. So good enough for me anyway. And then you'll see, look, you've got that, don't know if you can see that, but you've got that sort of tent style seam now, and then that, look at that, that is infinitely stronger than, you know, just having one set of sewing down there. Just got to tidy this up now, and then we will start on the side seams. So you can see I've seamed all of these underneath. I've done 3 sides, and now I just need to trim this little edge so they're equal. So I'm going to do that now, hopefully without chopping the... Okay, we've got a seam, so you can see that all the way round. So let's tidy that up. There's my what it's called, well, whatever that seam was in the front there, in the middle there, joining the 2 pieces together. That's good. So, you know, we've got a really good piece of nylon. I just had a bit of a problem this side. It seemed to get a bit stuck on this bit. I think it was the seams here are a bit thick and it got a bit funny, but it's not to worry. So the next thing we're going to do is put a bit of reinforcing strip on the ends here. So I'm just going to use this webbing. It's like 1 inch thick. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of this webbing across the whole width. And the reason for that is this is a bit that's going to be taking most of the, I think, the tension. And also I need to put some little eyelets in the corners there as well. So I'm going to measure off 2 pieces of this and a piece for down the other end here, and then we will sew that on. Aha. So here it is, finished. So we've got a nice little webbing edge to both sides of the lengths. Look at this one here. So we've got this here as well, and then we've got it seamed all the way round, so that should be good. So we'll just find the middle. I guess that'll be the middle there. I'll just find the middle and make a little mark there. Gosh, I can hardly see that, but there we go. Put a little mark on there. There we go. And then we need to get the right hole for this punch, the right punch for the hole, which will be this one. So the middle one will be there. That's great. Close that up. There we go. And that's an eyelet done. 5 more to go. There we go. 3 this side. 1, 2, 3. And 3 on the other side. 1, 2, 3. Now the only last thing to do is to find something that will hold that out rigid. So let's go and have a look in my workshop, see if we can find a bit of wood or something like that. What I reckon we could do is just screw this in, and then as long as we don't screw it too close to this hole here, we'll be able to just lift that up and put a little bit of line in, and that'll be fine. So what I think we got to do is find some nice pan head stainless steel screws, nice and small. I'm sure I've got some in here. This is my little box of screws. With a nice big head on them ideally. Yeah, that's them. What are they? 8 by half. They're number 10 by half. So we do 8 by half inch. 4 of those. 2. Now, just checking if we need this washer might be too big anyway, but let's just check that washer. Does it? Oh yeah, it gives. Well, does it give it? I don't think I don't. Well, yeah, we'll put those washers on as well. They do make it slightly larger, the sort of head area, which will help. There we go, so that'll be like that, and then you've still got this little eyelet spare there, and then in the middle here we're just going to, I think we can put another one sort of here. I think that should be enough, like that. If we need any more we can always put some more in. I'm going to put another one about here. Yeah, they screw in really quite well actually, so I'm quite pleased with that. There we go, look. So that will hold this out. We've still got our eyelets here, and we've got this eyelet here. We can slip something under there still to hold it to the mast. So basically, that's one sunshade done. All we've got to do is fit the little lines that go from each of these eyelets, but we'll do that when we get down there because I'm not sure how they're going to fit just yet. And then when we don't need this, it should roll up now, and actually the stick kind of helps it, doesn't it? You can roll that up. It's quite long. Whoop. And it doesn't take any room upon the boat, look, which is pretty cool. We can actually use that line or just get a little elastic piece around there, and then that's ready to be stowed. Awesome.